Okay, so here I have the 43X MOS. This is the receiver, and I've got a little stream light on the bottom of it. I've already broken this down. Here's the barrel right here. These are the lugs up here of the barrel. And then we have, this is the spring right here. This is the Glock 43X MOS spring. This is a dual or variable spring system. It has two springs. If you look closely, you can see that the coils right here, along here on the rod, and this is on a polymer rod. We know that because we have a polymer end cap right here on the Recoil Spring Assembly. And so you can see these coils are evenly spaced underneath the larger one, which is right on top here. So if I can try to demonstrate this, this is a 17-pound OEM Recoil Spring Assembly for the 43X Glock MOS. I'm going to try to get my fingernails up in that top coil. You know that you have your original OEM, by the way, the OEM Recoil Spring Assembly for the Glock 43X MOS, because it has a 1, a 1, and a 0 on the end plate right here. So when this Recoil Spring Assembly is compressed, we'll put the barrel back in here so I can show you. So barrel's in the slide, then you have your spring here, and your spring's going to set right on top of your, just below your barrel, because we've turned the slide upside down. So you just pop this right in there. The polymer end here has a cup on the end, and then there's also the larger spring right here, and again there is the smaller spring on this end. And you can get springs in different weights, so you can get lighter springs and heavier springs. When you're firing a semi-automatic pistol, what happens is you have your bullets coming out this way, and there's spent gases from the casing that has been fired. And this is a system, so it needs to work, and it needs to work well. Otherwise, you're going to run into issues where you're going to have failure to eject a round, or failure to extract, or you're going to have loading problems when the bullet's like trying to load. In my opinion, you need to get to know your weapon. If you go a lighter spring, what's going to happen is, if the bullet is fired out this way, a lighter spring's gonna, and I'm gonna exaggerate this, allow the slide to come back faster. It's gonna take a little longer coming back this way. So again, if you have a lighter spring, go down to, say, I'm exaggerating, but a 14 weight spring, then again, the slide is going to move back quicker, but it's going to take a long time to come back forward. If you have a heavier weight spring in here, say a 18, maybe 20-pound spring, then what is going to happen is that when the bullet fires, it's going to take a longer time to go to the rear, and you have compression at this point when you're going to the rear. And then what happens is there's this, in the design where your recoil assembly goes up here, there is built into the slide this little lip right here. When you're shooting, the slide will come back, and that right there will catch. So it's going to catch right in this area right here. There's this indent. So if I take my finger and I try to move my finger along, all of a sudden my fingernail gets caught like right in there on my finger. And it can't go any further because there's this ledge right here. So what happens is your slide will come back, and it stops right there. That's what stops your slide. It's not the spring. It's this and that ledge run into each other. And that's what stops the slide from going all the way to the back. And at this point, when the slide is back here, it's compressed. Okay, there's a lot of force in that spring. And so depending on whether you have a lighter or a heavier spring, there's going to be some changes or some effects that happen.